Hello everyone, I am Ms.P.SATHIYAKEERTHIKA, Assistant Professor of Chemistry, A.D.M. College for Women, Autonomous, Nagapattinam. In this module, we are going to discuss about the topic is Unit 2 from Applied Chemistry for 3rd BSc Chemistry, and the topic is Leather Chemistry. Now, we are discuss about the topic is leather. So, leather is a strong, flexible and durable material obtained from the animal skin and hide that have been treated with chemicals to preserve them and make them suitable for use as clothing, footwear and handbags, furniture and sports equipment. Most of the leather produced and sold in US is made from the skin of cattle and calves, but the leather is obtained from sheep, lamb, goat and pigs. The other species are hunted. And killed specifically for their skins, including zebra, bison is a scientific name of the American buffalo, and the other animals are like kangaroos, elephant, crocodiles, alligators, ostrich, lizards and snakes. So now we are see the topic is structure of hide and skin. So the structure is two types. One is collagen and other one is keratin. So first, collagen structure is water insoluble fibrous protein of great strength leather. It is almost pure collagen. The second one is keratin structure. Is present in hair, wool, fresh flayed hide. The keratin structure layer is a hair, wool, fresh flayed hide present in this structure. Next, composition of hide is water, protein, fat, minerals, other substance. The composition of above the substance are present in some of the percentage, like water present in 64% and proteins content present in 33%, and then fat present in 2%, mineral salt present in 0.5%, and other substances are present in 0.58%. So proteins are present in two types. There are one type is structural protein and another type is non-structural proteins. The structural proteins are elastin, collagen, keratin, and the non-structural proteins are albumins and mucins. And now we see the structure of skin. The skin layer are hair, epidermis, sweat glands, sebaceous gland and corium. First one, hair. Hair consists of protein and keratin. Now, epidermis, it is protective and hard-wearing layer of keratinous cell. And the sweat gland is used for discharge sweat from the skin through the pores in the grain surface. And now we see the next one is sebaceous gland. The sebaceous gland are located in side of the hair follicles, and the discharge into them on oily, waxy substance are proteined hair. And the last skin layer type is corium. The corium consists of network of collagens. The collagen fibers become very thin and tightly like oven structured. So finally, now we come to the topic is leather processing methods. The leather processing methods are three types. First one is before tanning, and after tanning. The process before tanning is starting in two initial processes. They are the flying and curing process. First we see the flying process. It is the process of removing the skin from the animal, and the other initial process is curing. The curing process is simply says present in the animal skin before tanning process, that is called curing. So drying process, there are many types of drying we followed. First one, air drying. The air drying of hides and skin is one of the oldest method of skin preservation. So it is used to preservation of reptiles, goat, fur, skin, etc. The simplest method of drying is to spread them on the ground supported on stick or stones. But it is necessary to prevent them from becoming dirty, getting damaged, and by insects. Often the hides are huge on poles and dried in the sun. This gives better ventilation and uniform drying. Sometimes the insect damage the skin may be soaked in the solution of arsenic solution and naphthalene solution, DDT, sodium silicofluoride can also be used to prevent insect damages. And another type of process before tanning process is salt curing. So following, now we see the drying method, and now the salt curing is two types. So first one is wet salting and another one is dry salting. The salt curing is one of the most common preservation method in cattle hide. The flayed hide is spread on concrete floor and it is sprinkled with coarse salt, and the second hide is placed on the first one and also sprinkled with salt. This is repeated until stakes of 5 to 8 feet in height. The method is called salt curing. So now wet salting. Cold flayed hide is spread out with flesh side. Upon the concrete floor, it is then well sprinkled with salt. So the salt is sprinkled with approximately 1 pound of salt is necessary for per pound of hide. So next method is dry salting. So the flayed skin is salted and dried gradually. In India, dry salt using curry salt. So dry salting method is reduce the weight and cost of transport. The before tanning process is totally 4 types. Already we see the 2 types of before tanning process. Now we see the third one type and of before tanning, and that process is drying curing. It is the one of the most efficient method of curing. The advantages of this method is that it can be done in less time. In this method, the fresh hide is sent through the filling machine and clean off some of the manual surface dirt. The process takes less time and high efficient, but the drying curing is not as effective as conventional salt pack. The curing and hence are not safe for preserving longer periods. So under the normal conditions, circumference and the skin can be preserved for 6 months and can be shipped for export. And not we see the fourth type of before tanning process, that is pickling process. This method is used to unhaired process, particularly in this case of sheep skin, where the more valuable wool is removed and the remaining skin is then pickled and dried and ready for marketing. And now we comes to the main topic is turning process. So the turning process converts the protein of raw hide or skin into a stable material which will not purify and suitable for wide variety purpose. The turning makes hide and skin are dry and soft and does not allow the skin to swell when wetted back. The skin is now called leather. So some important turning materials are vegetable tannings, synthetic tannings, mineral tannings and aldehyde tannings. So first one is vegetable tanning. The vegetable tanning are the water extracted from the plant, barks, leaves, etc. It consists of a large polyphenol molecules with some acidic groups and high secondary valency potential. The softness of the leather will depend on type and quality of vegetable tan used. Generally, acid conditions favor vegetable tan fixation. So next, synthetic tans. The synthetic tans consist of different chemical structures and it is highly ionized and strong ionic attraction for basic group of protein with consequent dehydration effect. The synthetic tans with high secondary valency force and will give more pronounced leathering effect and give fuller leather with those with greater proportion of sulfonic groups give the thinner and less flexible leathers. So next one is mineral tannages. So these are the basic salt of chromium, zirconium and aluminium. It is effect on softening the dried leather. Is reactively more pronounced on chrome leather than on vegetable tanned leather. So the aldehyde tannages, there are some types of aldehyde are used to this tannages for formaldehyde, glutaldehyde and aldehyde pronounced in chrome stands. The tannages combined with the basic group of proteins and the form of cross links with basic groups on adjacent molecules in the wet protein. A small amount of aldehydes are sufficient to produce the significant effect. And another two importance of tanning processes, vegetable tanning and chrome tanning. The method of chrome tanning and vegetable tans is mostly used to garments and footwear. So another method of tanning known as wet white tanning is most recent technology. It is the process chrome is totally eliminated to make the processing more eco-friendly. It is mainly used for garments. And the method of turning process are the first method and it's vegetable turning. The vegetable turning is one of the oldest methods. So primitive peoples have developed a vegetable tanning system based on available materials in local areas. The vegetable tanning results not only in preservation of the hide fiber but also give the certain characteristics of fullness and elasticity and the characteristics of tanning materials and method used. The used in this method is vegetable tanning in sole leather The vegetable tan is import body fullness, physical weight, and molding characteristics so that the shoes adapts itself to individual foods. The vegetable tanning comes from a wide variety of plants and can be extracted from wood leaves. There are nuts, twigs, and barks. The material extracted from the wood not only contains many different tans but also stitches, gums, and other materials. Chemically, the tannins belong to the polyphenols. These are classified in two main groups. These are called condensed tans and hydrolyzable tans. The vegetable tanning is two types of vegetable tan, bleaching and extraction manufacture. And another type of tanning process is chrome tanning. The salt of some heavy metals like chromium have the capacity of combined with skin protein. The chromium salt gives a very suitable hide fiber which is resistant to bacterial attack and high temperature. These main advantages of chrome tanning are high speed, low cost and light color, lightweight, durability, excellent resistance to heat and water, and preservation of hide protein. It is one of the most common method of tanning light leathers. So it gives a lighter leathers like belt leathers, textile leathers, etc. The process of tanning hides and skin into leather with basic chromic salt is known as chrome tanning. Now we come to the last topic in tanning process in finishing process, that is called after tanning process. So the leather produced by tanning should be prepared to give the final shape, so which called the finishing stage. That is the final stage is finishing stage. The removal of sulfur tans liquor, it is the method of after tannages. Excess tan liquor is allowed to drain out, and then washing process is case of light leather used for fancy glowing lining and shoes appears the much firmness is not needed. So it is washed by running a drum with constant flow of water. That is called as washing process. So another one is neutralizing process to remove excess of acidity of skin and the adjustment of thickness. So immediately after neutralizing, thickness of the leather is adjusted. So the leather now we come to the softening section. So the next step is removal of excess water. So then returning the leather is again subjected to turning, especially with symptoms. So dyeing is the process, can be dyed with dye stuff dissolved in sufficient hot water, which is slowly added to the agitated dye bath. This running time is 20 to 30 minutes. So the dyeing process is coloring the leather, and the end of the process of tanning is dyeing. The leather is then conditioned for finishing. That condition can be done manually by take wood saw dust and water by mechanical process of water spraying. After conditioning leather to the finishing process. The finishing process are two types. So first one is resin finishing and another one type is glass finishing. And first type is resin finishing. The finishing method of resin finishing is done by resin binders, pigments and dyes are used to strengthen the color. After this, plating is done by hydraulic pressure at a certain temperature and pressure. So this process is done to achieve fineness of the grain of skin before plating, thinners or liqueurs can be used. So skin is now ready for sale and generally that feeds. So another method of finishing is glass finishing. So the glass finishing is like it is done by casting binders, pigments, soft binders, dye solutions or other suitable chemicals. After this color, another coat of dye solution is applied on the leather and it is dried by any suitable methods. And this stage of leather is known as dry crust stage. So it is the straight stage of finishing. A dye of the same shade as that of dyed crust stage is used to coat the leather again with spray of brush. So after this, seasoned coating is done along with the drying. It can be glazed further by glazing machine. The whole process is repeated again for the second time. So the traditional process are resin finishing and glass finishing, and finally the leather is ironed by hydraulic pressure at certain temperature and pressure. So it is now leather is said to be ready for sale. And this session is over. I hope it's useful to you all. Thank you.